Quick visual tidbits. Let us take a look at shoes. Many of our ancestors preferred to go barefoot. However, this does not mean they did not have footwear. Here are some examples of footwear from various African cultures in different periods of history. Kemetic Egyptian footwear goes back to antiquity, to about 3000 BCE, as indicated in the artworks from this period. The earliest shoes were most likely made from papyrus leaves and palm fibers, which kept the feet cool and protected from the hot desert sand. Upper and underside of a sandal. Shoes went from being simple designs made from papyrus with a plaited or woven pattern to having super elaborate patterns and designs made according to the skills of the artisan. Those made for royalty were embellished with colorful threads. Besides leather and papyrus, other materials were used, such as metals like gold and electrum, as indicated by samples found in the tombs of some royals. Signs of social status. Kemetic footwear also revealed the wearer's standing in society. The elite in Kemetic society wore dyed and decorated sandals and sandals with upturned toes. The pharaoh and members of his court were the only ones allowed to wear gold or jeweled sandals. Dignitaries wore sandals with pastel colors. The middle class were designated red and yellow sandals, while the lower class and slaves went barefoot. Later on, shoes could have been made with a combination of dyed leather, plant fibers, and wood. Walking over his enemies. Some sandals worn by pharaohs had images on the soles. This was the pharaoh making a statement that he was walking over his enemies. The sandals seen here belong to Tutankhamun. Metal shoes were more for symbolic purposes. Their main function was to provide the dead with shoes in the afterlife. The gold sandals below are from the 18th dynasty, during the reign of Thutmose III, 1479 through 1425 BCE. A pair of sandals from the tomb of Yuya and Juyu, New Kingdom, 18th dynasty, during the reign of Amenhotep III. The sandals are made from grass, reed, and papyrus. Sudan. We now have sandals and patterns from the West Sudan, perhaps Montego, West Africa. On the Guinea coast, queens, kings, chiefs, and other aristocrats wore sandals made by Akan artisans on special occasions. These sandals were made out of wood and leather. This image here depicts a Sudanese warrior with boots, most likely leather. West Africa. Rainy season boots. Although the majority of people wore no shoes in West Africa, when it rained, some natives wore what they call wooden sandals or rainy season boots. When the ground is soaked in rainwater and cold, some natives wore their boots to keep their feet dry. These boots were cut out of whole pieces of lightwood. They came in various designs. Some had legs, and some had broad sides and were hollow underneath. The wearer slipped their feet beneath the leather thongs like straps on flip-flops. Gizo, king of Dahomey, and his red and gold sandals. Notice the servant behind him is barefoot. Women's sandals from Kano, northwest Nigeria. South Africa. These sandals are from South Africa. This type of sandal was only worn when an individual was on a journey and the ground which he has to traverse is exceptionally rough and thorny. They were made of stout leather, were rather larger than the sole of the foot, and tied on by thongs. Chief Kichwayo, a Zulu chief, wearing sandals similar to the previous sandals. Sandals from South Africa. Herero leather sandals from South Africa. And this has been a quick visual look at African shoes from antiquity to the 19th century. For E.I. Marsher, now you've been tidbitted.